SB and AZ says, so they are honoring the 94 team Saturday night. Perfect time for Warren Sapp to be in town.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag GBR.
I want to say all the way back in the winter I guess it was the spring when we knew Warren Sapp was going to be on the staff, that we knew that there needed to be a video clip of the Orange Bowl against Miami.
They'll have some stuff.
Very appropriate that the 94 team, all of that. I mean, that has to be in the works. If there's not even one clip of that, that is a major fail Saturday night. It'll happen. Warren on one knee, gasping for air.
Corey Schlesinger right up the middle.
Pipeline just sitting there during the timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Ray Lewis was too. Ray Lewis was down on one knee too.
People forget that was a good defensive team for Miami.
It was a good defensive team.
They had dudes.
Can't believe they had Frank Costa playing quarterback, but that's on them.
Frank Costa!
That always a good trivia question,
poor
by
guy.
the way.
He got beaten so bad in that game.
Yeah. Terry Keneally, he does not get Christmas cards from Frank Costa. We're going to be very curious. The Amazon show for Dion, they are coming to Lincoln. The big production, they're going to follow him around. So we'll get to see some behind the scenes of pregame speeches, postgame.
Yep.
Next week when they release the next episode of Chasing 3, it'll be around the Colorado game.
Mm-hmm.
People will be very curious because we had a Matt Rule speech last night.
We did.
What will we get for Colorado? We think we know what he is thinking. But first, I got to tell you about the half-naked man. So, sad news yesterday in the world of college baseball, and it does impact us here in Omaha.
That does sound like a Neil Young song. By the way.
So, Wayne Graham, legendary head baseball coach at Rice, passed away.
Yep.
Won the national title right here in Omaha at Rosenblatt in 2003. Mm-hmm. He brought his Rice team. This is Rice University won a national championship. Now, this is when Rice University was a banger in college baseball.
Very smart.
Brought him here 7 times. They won a national championship. Lance Berkman is one of the legendary players that played under Wayne Graham.
Yep. Jeff Neiman was a stud.
Kenny Ball. Mm-hmm. They had dudes, and Rice baseball was really, really good. And since Coach Graham retired, they've really struggled. Like really, really struggled. But I have to tell you a quick story about Wayne Graham. And, college baseball lost a legend. He was a legend. Mm-hmm. Passed away yesterday at the age of 88. But Rice University will always have a connection to Nebraska baseball. So when Nebraska baseball went to the College World Series for the first time ever, they beat Rice in 2 games at Old Buck Belcher Field. And Rice came in and they had Kenny Baugh and they had Philip Humber. And, Kenny Baugh would throw 264 pitches.
Yeah, Humber was a stud too.
But Nebraska beat both of those guys. But Wayne Graham, I remember this because I was there, and Rice practices after Nebraska. Nebraska is finishing up on the Thursday, and I think Van Horn was hitting fungos. And Rob Childress was just playing catch, just on the side. Wayne Graham, shirtless. At that time, he was, 68?
Yeah. He always looked old.
Cock diesel.
Like Sparky.
Oh, really?
Like back in 1988, he looked 88.
Right.
But his body said different.
Yeah.
So
Don Zimmer?
Wayne Graham doesn't have a shirt on. He has shorts.
Yeah.
He is doing sit-ups in the dugout.
Damn.
Of Buck Belcher Field.
Nice.
And Van Horn, you'll have to ask this next time you play golf with Childress. Van Horn was like, Rob, look at Coach Graham, look at yourself. But then the other part of Wayne Graham. So that was, that was what, 2001?
Yeah.
And that series was pretty heated. Nebraska, Comine beat Baugh. It's an unbelievable Friday night game. And then Nebraska wrapped it up the following day. Wayne Graham used to sit in the dugout, and he'd be in the corner of the dugout. He'd just be blowing through heaters during the game.
Oh, really?
Oh, regular Jim Leland.
Yeah, Wayne Graham would smoke in the dugout.
He looked like a guy that, and you mentioned Jim Leland. He looked like a guy that if you told me he was 80 then, I would have believed you because he always looked so old.
Well, that's like what you say.
But that's just
Sparky.
funny that
he's
like
like Mr.
below,
Strickland.
he did not look like that. Like he's the ripped old guy.
Yeah,
Jack LaLanne.
Doing crunches.
And to go a step further, because I was curious, I still am. Bill Belichick is dating a 24-year-old. Bill Belichick is 72.
Yeah. Respect.
Yeah.
Right?
Shout out Hims.
Wayne Graham was married. I believe it was his wife. I don't want to I believe it was his wife,
Could have been a life
was
partner.
like 35 years younger. And she came to the
Well, now you know.
Super in Lincoln, and people are like, is that his daughter?
Is that Brett Bielema's wife? No.
Somebody says, is that his daughter? And I'm like, oop.
Well,
Nope.
when you fine-tune the instrument like you're saying he does, clearly she was in it for his body.
Hey, I don't ever ask, is that your wife or your daughter? I got in trouble at the U.S. Senior Open
That would happen to me. So
on a live show.
relatable. Oh,
Who was it?
I don't know. The guy just said, hey.
Was it?
I said,
okay, it wasn't a golfer.
No.
Just a patron?
No, it was a fan that came
Oh.
up to our remote, and I was like, hey, sir. I go, hey, if you want to register, if you and your daughter want to register.
Oh, no.
so that's his wife. You're like, I know, but what if
Gary,
your daughter's
you
here?
should know. Look,
She looked young.
you get out there on the
She
golf
looked young.
courses.
How was I supposed to know?
You should know the golf crowd, though. Chances are, if it is an older guy with a younger, maybe attractive-ish looking woman,
Gold digger?
it's probably the wife or girlfriend, not the daughter. More times than not.
Or a special friend like Lane Kiffin.
That's especially when you're at a very prestigious golf club.
I was giving the guy the benefit of the doubt. I was like, oh, hey, you and your daughter.
Getting the benefit of the doubt by saying it's your girlfriend because they're like, good for you, man.
Well, I was like being safe. And he was like,
that's no fun.
He was like, that's my wife. But he wasn't like joking.
Did he,
is it also your daughter?
Did he end up signing up for whatever? I don't know what you guys said.
I don't know, man. He got
away?
like upset, and I was like, what do I say to the guy? I mean, I didn't know.
What's your email?
I hope you followed up with, oh, good for you.
No, I was like, he just stared at me. I was like, hey,
damn.
Okay, good. I mean, your wife could be your daughter. I just said that.
Respect.
So I didn't know that at the time because I thought, okay, maybe Wayne Graham's daughter
have a kiss
come
for
up to
daddy?
Lincoln.
Yeah.
And the Nebraska guys were saying, no, that's his wife. I was like, Jesus, Wayne Graham is living like the best life. And he would win the national championship 2 years later at Rosenblatt.
Yep.
Which I believe.
That was the Jeff Neiman team.
So here's the nerd part of me. I believe that was the first year that they used the dome camera that ESPN had, because there's a great shot of the final out from the dome camera where Rice players come streaming out of the dugout to celebrate.
Yes, that's a good call. First time they were in the CWS that I remember, though, was it 98? Because you mentioned Lance Berkman. That was 98. 98. Yeah, I think that was 98 because I remember they played a really fun game. Actually, LSU ended up pummeling them. But remember when LSU had, was it Brandon Larson? Oh, my gosh. Yep. And that dude could rake. But they had like Blair Barbier. And that was still when the Gorilla Ball days were thriving. That was the first time I remember watching Rice in the College World Series because didn't know much about Rice. And I remember they had a coach who looked like he was really, really old. And then finding out about how good Lance Berkman was. LSU won. And I think that might have been the same year Stanford was in that. That might have been a Kyle Peterson year. I'm trying to remember. But I just remember Rice that year with Lance Berkman. And then all of a sudden they just became a regular at the CWS from that point on. So it was very fitting that they were able to get a national title. I remember the celebration, though. Good call. Why? See, this is what we lose with the downtown day trader.
Mm-hmm.
We do not get that angle. That was actually a really cool celebration image right there that I'm sure is still probably in the facilities of Rice baseball to this day.
Right next to the zoo.
We believe, and a hat tip to our listener, John, here, about hype videos and pregame speeches, maybe what Rule is going to be looking for. People don't know this, and he maybe even doesn't know this, but I'm just going to say this. Matt Rule's a big Bill Murray fan. So do you think that when you see the Chasing 3 episode next week, and it includes some behind-the-scenes stuff from the Colorado game, that Matt Rule will have channeled his inner Bill Murray to give a speech to his team and the rest of the Nebraska fans that is very similar to this speech from Bill Murray and Meatballs?
Yes.
That's what we need.
Yep.
That,
You know what? I might have to go buy tickets for this game.
That is probably what the pregame speech is going to surround. That was peak Bill Murray.
Sorry to the guys on the stream. When we played off this computer, it garbles a thing, but that's why I dumped it in the comments, and it'll be on the replay.
Yeah.
And you even told them Bill Murray and meatballs.
I do think it's pretty funny that everybody on the stream, I saw our friends from No Block No Rock say, watching you guys laugh like a bunch of high school girls, but they don't know what we're laughing at.
It just doesn't matter.
Yes.
It just doesn't matter.
If you know meatballs and you know Tripper, you know what we're laughing at.
You know, Nick, what I just realized? Maybe that was the origin of we're not going to protest.
Yeah, we're not going to. It probably was, actually.
Because that was something you would have at my school.
Yep. PCU, another great movie.
That's it. We need George Clinton and P-Funk at the game Saturday.
Gentlemen,
2 to stand, 4 to sit.
If we die, we die. And it doesn't matter if you die, because the really good-looking girls will only go out with the guys who have all the money. Deal with it. Their NIL is larger than ours. But you know what? Our dubs and our trophy case is larger than theirs. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Except to 1.9 million people.
That's true. Did you know that every guy on Colorado has a cyber truck? Okay. Oh, God. See, we were talking about this. A lot of Animal House gets played, but Meatballs is a banger.
So when things get down on Saturday night, just think of this mod.
Yep.
Just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's going to go over well.
We're all gonna,
you played at your tailgate is what you should do.
Yeah.
We're all going to die anyhow. And it's all about the friends we've made along the way.
That's true. What does the Colorado long snapper have to say about that?
Guys, they say it just doesn't matter. To us, it matters.
It does matter.
Because, you know what? If we lose to Nebraska, they're going to make even more fun of us that Ralphie was born on a ranch in western Nebraska.